And what the drivers say they fear most of all is a head-on collision with a blind tube mare.
Personally, I think the management should round them up. Get rid of them.
What's up, YouTube? Hello. So here I am, live from the cupboard under the stairs. I've been very ill. I mean, not like in hospital, but I have had a really nasty virus, not COVID, but a horrible flu. And I've got long COVID as well. I should probably do some videos about that. So, you know, fatigued and plus with a fever, and I've been having insane fever dreams. In fact, I dreamt the other night, briefly, I looked out my back door and I saw my old cat that ran away lying dead on its back in the rain outside the back door. That was rather disturbing. I've got new cats now, they're very nice. Very nice cats. So anyway, I'm rambling. I'm going to do a little reaction to Bob Newhart. If you haven't heard of him before, he was around probably 60s and 70s mainly. He's American, and I'm doing this because something that Stuart Lee did reminded me of this. So I did say I'd react to some of his stuff. This is probably the most famous, and that's it. Let's dive right in, and I'll give you my amazing pearls of wisdom after this.
As I said, there was a thing in the paper tonight about documentaries, and I've had an idea for a long time for what I think is a wonderful documentary, which has everything. For instance, you go to work, you come home at night, and you never really think about it. It's mechanical, it's routine. But there are a group of men who every day, when they go to work, never know if that night they'll return, because they face death in 100 different ways. And I'm talking about America's driving instructors. And I'd like to present the first episode in the new TV series called The Driving Instructor. Now, I'd like to have you picture, if you would, this is a car. I'm the driving instructor, and seated next to me is a woman driver. How do you do? You're Mrs. Webb, is that right? Oh, I see you've had one lesson already. Who is the instructor on that, Mrs. Webb? Mr. Adams. I'm sorry, here it is, Mr. Adams. Just let me read ahead and kind of familiarize myself with the case. How fast were you going when Mr. Adams jumped from the car? 75? And where was that? In your driveway. How far has Mr. Adams gotten in the lesson? Backing out. I see, you were backing out at 75, and that's when he jumped. Did he cover starting the car and the other way of stopping? What's the other way of stopping? Throwing it in reverse. That's right. Oh, that'll do it. You're right. That'll do it. All right. You want to start the car? Mrs. Webb, you just turn on the lights. You want to start the car? They all look alike, don't they? I don't know why they design them that way. All right, let's pull out into traffic. Now, what's the first thing we're going to do before we pull out into traffic? What did Mr. Adams do before he let you pull out into traffic? Well, I mean, besides praying, let's say. No, what I had in mind was checking the rear view mirror. You see, we always want to check the rear. Don't pull out! Please don't cry. I'm sorry. But there was this bus. All right, the lane is clear now. You want to pull out? Oh, no, that wasn't bad at all. You might try it a little slower next time. All right, let's get up a bit more speed and gradually ease it into second. Well, I didn't want to cover reverse this early, but as long as you've shifted into it, of course you're nervous. I'm nervous. I'm not just saying that. I'm really very nervous. Well, just don't pay any attention to their honking. You're doing fine. You're not blocking anyone's lane. No, as long as you're here on the safety island, you're not blocking anyone's lane. All right, you want to start the car? While you're turning the lights off, why don't you turn off the heater? All right, there we are. Let's get up a bit of speed. That's the way. Now let's practice some turns. The important thing on turns is not to make them too sharp. Just kind of make a gradual. Oh, now that was fine. That was a wonderful turn. It's hard for me to believe you only had 2 lessons after you make a turn like that. Are you sure you haven't had more now? I find that very difficult to believe. One little thing. This is a one-way street. Well, no, actually it was partially my fault, you see, but you were in the left-hand lane and you were signaling left, and I just more or less assumed you were going to turn left. Same to you, fella. No, I don't know what he said, Mrs. Webb. All right, let's pull into the alley up there and practice a little alley driving. This is something a lot of the schools leave out that we think is pretty. You're going too fast, Mrs. Webb. You're up around 60, and it's kind of a sharp turn there. All right, let's just drive down the alley. That's the way. Mrs. Webb, maybe we better stop here. Well, I don't think you're going to make it between the truck and the building. Mrs. Webb? Mrs. Webb, I don't think you're going to... Mrs. Webb, I really didn't think you were going to make it. That just shows you we can be wrong, too. No, I'll get out on your side. That's all right. Mrs. Webb, maybe it might be a good idea if we went over to the driving area. They have a student driver area over a few blocks away, and maybe traffic throws you. Maybe that's the problem. Well, turn here on the street, right, and it's only about a block up. All right, turn right here. Well, now, that was my fault again. You see, I meant the next street. not this man's lawn. Sir? Sir, would you mind turning off the sprinkler, please? For just a minute. Newly seated? Is that right? That's always the way, isn't it? Well, I don't suppose it is so damn funny. All right, Mrs. Webb, you want to back out and get off the man's creeping bend, is that right? Yeah, just back out, Mrs. Webb. Thank you very much, sir, for... Oh, now we hit someone, Mrs. Webb. Remember, you're going to watch the rear view mirror. Remember, we covered that? The red light blinded you. The flashing red light blinded you? The flashing red light on the car you hit blinded you. Yes, officer, she was just telling me about it. All right. Mrs. Webb, I'm going to have to go with the officer to the police station. They don't believe it, and they'd like me to describe it. And now the other officer is going to get in the car, and he's going to drive you back to the driving school, and then you're to meet us at the police station. My name is Frank Dexter. Why do you ask? You want to be sure and get me next time?
Oh, I love it. There he is. There he was. The wonderful Bob Newhart. I have great memories of him because my dad, back in probably around 1980 or so, he had a vinyl record Bob Newhart, and now and again on a Saturday afternoon, he'd put it on and we'd sit there and listen to it, and I always thought it was hilarious then. Brilliant acting, really well written, and don't pout! He's really good. He just paints a picture so well with words, and it's unusual as well. You know, it's not the normal stand-up routine. So I think that's something quite special. And if you haven't heard of him before, do listen to some more stuff. There's lots of different routines he does. He does one about an airport controller. There's a really good one I like about Walter Raleigh, and it's very good, and it was all inspired by Stuart Lee with his phone call in the shill bottle thing, where he does something very similar, where he's nodding and then he responds. You don't know what the other person's saying, but that's the beauty of it, of course. You can imagine, you have to imagine everything, and he does it all with his voice, his acting, his brilliant reactions to what's going on around him. Really good stuff. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time. Don't nobody go nowhere.
And in a statement issued just 10 minutes ago, the Home Secretary announced that he personally will be going into the tunnels this weekend, armed with a special gun.